All right, welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today we're going to be diving deep into the career of Željko Obradović.
Oh, yeah.
A name that I think is just synonymous with winning in European basketball.
Yeah, absolutely synonymous. The man's a legend.
He's got so many titles across decades, coaching some of the biggest clubs.
Yeah, I mean, 9 EuroLeague championships with 5 different teams. I mean, come on, that's incredible.
Yeah. To get a sense of how we managed to achieve this, we looked into a whole bunch of sources.
Yeah.
We got articles from Eurohoops, KOS Magazine. We even got some transcripts of interviews with him, with people around him from YouTube.
Oh, wow, cool.
We got a really in-depth profile from Real GM, even some stuff from Fenerbahçe, the club, their website, their fan forum.
Nice.
Some Wikipedia entries in English and Turkish. Actually, there was one thing in the initial briefing. There's a Croatian Memories website.
Okay.
And it mentioned Željko Obradović, but it was born in 1967, so different guy.
Different guy, yeah.
So we're not going to be using that.
Not that one.
So today, our mission is to figure out, what are the key elements behind his success, what made him such a celebrated figure in European basketball.
Yeah, I'm really excited to unpack all of this and see what we can find.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, where do we even begin with a career like this?
Right. Why don't we start at the beginning? His early life, his playing career before he became this coaching giant.
Sounds good to me.
So he was born. His name was Hilmir Obradović originally.
Okay.
On March 9th, 1960, at Johac.
Okay.
In what was then Yugoslavia, now Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
And he started out as a player, a point guard.
Okay, so he's got the experience of actually being on the court himself.
Yeah, exactly. He spent about 6 seasons with Borac Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to Partizan Belgrade, where he played from 84 to 91. And, the sources, they talk about him being like a reliable point guard.
Yeah.
So clearly good.
Solid player.
Yeah, definitely a solid player. And he had quite a bit of success as a player, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so with Partizan, he actually won the Yugoslav League Championship in 87.
Wow.
And then in 89, Partizan actually won both the Yugoslav Cup and the FIBA Korac Cup.
Oh, wow. A double, huh?
Yeah. So clearly they were a successful team.
Yeah.
He was an important part of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just club basketball either.
No.
He also played for the Yugoslavia national team.
Wow.
And he won a silver at the Seoul Olympics in 88, and then a gold medal at the FIBA World Cup in Argentina in 1990.
Oh, wow. So competing and winning at the highest level, that must really shaped his view of the game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, high pressure situations, the demands of the game, he definitely experienced it all. But there is a darker moment from his playing career that we should mention. One of the Eurohoops articles talks about a car accident.
Oh.
And it led to a prison sentence.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So in the late 80s, he was involved in a car accident where an elderly woman died.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. And he received a 2-year prison sentence.
Wow.
And he's actually talked about it, somewhat openly. He said that he learned a lot after that incident, and that he believes that, man takes lessons from both the good and bad things that happen.
Yeah. That's a powerful way to look at it. But coming back from something like that can't be easy.
No, I mean, it really shows his resilience.
Yeah.
Because when he got out, he actually went back to Partizan.
Wow.
As a player, and he even started coaching their youth teams before finally retiring in 91.
So even after all that, he was still so dedicated to basketball.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So that brings us to 1991 when he retired.
Yeah.
And then almost immediately, he becomes the head coach at Partizan.
Wow, that's a quick transition.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
According to KOS Magazine, he got this call from Dragan Kikanović in the summer of 91.
Okay.
Kikanović is like a real icon for Partizan, for Yugoslavian basketball.
Yeah.
He was the club's sports director at the time, and he offered him the head coaching job.
Wow.
But with one condition: he had to stop playing.
Oh, wow. So right then and there, he had to make that decision.
Yeah, right then and there.
That's a big ask.
Yeah. And KOS Magazine, they mentioned that he actually spent the entire night, talking with his friends about the offer. He couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What a decision to make.
What was he like worried about? I mean, going into a role like that with really no experience, that's got to be nerve-wracking.
Well, he actually said that his biggest fear was not knowing the answer to a question from one of his players.
Oh.
So you can see, that respect for the coaching profession, that understanding that you really got to be prepared.
Yeah, it shows a lot of respect for the players, too, that he takes their questions so seriously.
Exactly. And remember, this wasn't just any team, right?
Right.
This was partisan, a team with a lot of history, a lot of expectations.
Yeah, lots of pressure.
Lots of pressure. And what happened in his first season, his very first season as head coach, it's almost unbelievable.
Let me guess. They won everything.
They did.
Wow.
It's actually insane. In 91-92, they won it all. The Yugoslav Cup, the Yugoslav League, and get this, the EuroLeague.
No way, a triple crown right off the bat?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the EuroLeague final, it was a really tight game against Juventud Badalona.
Okay.
And they won with this incredible buzzer beater from Sašeriadović.
Oh, wow. I got to see that.
Yeah, it's legendary. And the thing is, the average age of this partisan team, it was under 22.
Wow. So a rookie coach with a team of youngsters winning the biggest prize in European basketball. That's something else.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, the KOS Magazine article also mentions that Aleksandar Nikolić, the professor of Serbian basketball, he was actually an advisor during that first year.
Oh, wow. So he had some real guidance from one of the greats.
Yeah, to have someone like that with all that knowledge and experience to help him in those early days, that must have been invaluable.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, though, in his second year, Partizan couldn't compete in the EuroLeague.
Well, why not?
International sanctions.
Oh, right. The political situation at the time.
Yeah, the Balkans were going through a lot.
It's a shame they couldn't defend their title, but I guess that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, definitely a setback. But Obradović talent, his ambition, it meant that he wasn't going to stay in that situation for long.
Okay, so where did he go next?
So he ended up in Spain, coaching Juventud Badalona for the 93-94 season.
Okay.
But it's actually kind of an interesting story how that happened.
Really?
Yeah, KOS Magazine, they have the details.
Okay.
So apparently Juventud, they originally wanted Božidar Maljković.
Okay, yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, another great coach, right?
Yeah.
He was coaching in France at the time.
Okay.
And he actually talked to Juventud's management.
Uh-huh.
But in the end, he had family reasons, so he stayed in France.
Oh, I see.
But when he told Juventud, they asked him for a recommendation. And he recommended Željko Obradović.
Wow, so it was a recommendation from one top coach to another that led to that move?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And a very good recommendation, as it turned out.
Well, yeah. I mean, what happened?
Because in that one season with Juventud, he won the EuroLeague again.
No way.
Yeah.
Back-to-back titles with two different clubs.
Yeah.
This guy's a winner. Clear.
Yeah, immediate impact, right?
Yeah, amazing.
And his time in Spain didn't end there.
Okay, where to next?
Real Madrid.
Oh, wow, one of the biggest clubs in Europe.
Yep, from 94-97.
Okay, what happened there?
And of course, he led them to the EuroLeague title in 95.
Of course.
But there's an interesting detail about his contract with Real Madrid.
Oh, what's that?
So the KOS Magazine article mentions that there was this clause in his contract, an automatic renewal clause if they won the EuroLeague.
Wow, so they really, really wanted that title.
Yeah, maybe it was a sign of his confidence too.
Yeah, or maybe just his ambition. He was like, yeah, we're going to win this, for sure.
Right. So yeah, he wins the EuroLeague in his first season. Contract's renewed. He stays on.
Smart.
And he also won the FIBA Supporter Cup with them in 97.
So more silverware, more success.
Yeah, I mean, 3 EuroLeague titles with 3 different clubs in his first 4 years as head coach.
It's no wonder he became such a sought-after coach so quickly.
Yeah, he really was like he had the Midas touch.
The golden touch, yeah.
Right. And then, after Spain, he went to Italy.
Okay.
To coach Benetton Treviso.
Benetton Treviso. I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, they were a pretty good team back then.
Okay.
He was there for 2 seasons, from 97 to 99.
Okay.
And, he kept winning. He won the Italian Super Cup in 97, another Supporter Cup in 99.
Keeping the streak alive.
Yep. They also reached the EuroLeague Final Four in 98.
Okay.
Finished 3rd, so not another EuroLeague title, but still.
Still consistently competing at the top. That's what matters.
Exactly. But then comes, I think, the real defining chapter.
Okay.
The part where he really becomes a legend.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos, of course, in Greece. That's where he really cemented his legacy, right?
Exactly. 13 seasons. 13 seasons he was there.
Wow. From when to when?
From 99 to 2012.
That's a long time. That's more than a decade of dominance.
It's crazy. And in those 13 seasons, he won 5 EuroLeague titles.
5. Come on, that's unbelievable.
2000, 2002, 2007, 2009, 2011.
It's like he just kept winning and winning.
Yeah, and domestically, they were unstoppable too.
Yeah. What did he win domestically?
11 Greek League championships, 7 Greek Cups.
Oh my goodness. That's a dynasty.
Yeah, it really is. And he got individual recognition too, of course.
Yeah, I mean, how could he not with that kind of success?
Yeah, so he won EuroLeague Coach of the Year twice while he was at Panathinaikos.
Okay.
In 2007 and 2011.
So not just team success, but also being recognized as the best coach in Europe. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually a pretty funny story from his time at Panathinaikos that I read in one of the EuroHoops articles.
Oh, I love a good story. What is it?
So apparently he famously said that he was going to learn Greek,
Okay.
but then he decided not to.
Why? Why would he do that?
Well, he said it was so he wouldn't be able to understand the Greek newspapers when they criticized him.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But the article also says that it was kind of an open secret that he probably understood Greek pretty well anyway.
So he was just playing games with the media.
Yeah, maybe.
That's pretty clever.
So yeah, his time in Athens, it made him a legend for Panathinaikos fans.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But after more than a decade, he decided to take on a new challenge.
Where did he go after that?
Turkey.
Turkey.
Fenerbahçe.
Another big club.
Yeah, in 2013.
Okay.
And he went there with a clear goal to make them a EuroLeague contender.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
And did he succeed?
Well, he didn't just make them contenders. He made them champions.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2017, they won the EuroLeague title.
No way. That's incredible.
The first Turkish team to ever do it.
That's history right there.
It's huge. And before that, he took them to their first Final Four in 2015.
Okay.
And their first final in 2016.
So he was building towards that championship.
Yeah, step by step.
That's amazing.
And it wasn't just a one-off thing.
Yeah.
They reached 5 Final Fours in a row under his leadership.
Wow, 5 in a row. That's dominance.
Yeah, from 2015 to 2019.
So he really built something special there.
And they won domestically, too.
Yeah. What did they win?
4 Turkish League championships, 3 Turkish Cups, 3 Turkish Super Cups.
Wow. So he was winning everything in Turkey as well.
Yeah, basically. And he was named EuroLeague Coach of the Year again in 2017.
For the 3rd time.
Yeah, for the 3rd time.
What a career.
And the Turkish Wikipedia entry, it actually has his record with Fenerbahçe.
Okay.
382 wins in 507 games.
That's a crazy win percentage.
Yeah, it's like 75%.
That's just ridiculous.
7 seasons, 7 demanding seasons.
And consistently winning.
Yeah.
That's what makes him so special, that consistency.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, in 2020, he actually decided to leave Fenerbahçe.
Oh.
And his statement on the Fenerbahçe website, he called it one of the most difficult decisions of his life.
Wow, you can tell he was really attached to that club.
It was more than just a job for him.
Yeah.
He took a year off from coaching.
Okay.
And in his statement, he thanked everyone at the club, the presidents, the staff, the players, the fans.
Yeah, that's really classy.
But then in 2021, he decided to return to coaching.
Okay, where did he end up?
Back to where it all started.
Partizan?
Partizan Belgrade.
Wow, a full circle moment.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And there's a recent article in EuroHoops. They quote him talking about this very long meeting he had with his Partizan players after a loss.
Okay.
And the loss was actually against Fenerbahçe.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a strange feeling, going up against your old team.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But it just shows, that dedication, that intensity, it's still there.
Yeah, he's still got that fire.
Absolutely. So we've kind of traced his journey now.
Yeah. What a journey it's been.
Right. So many different teams, so many different countries.
So many trophies.
So many trophies. But what is it about him? What are the secrets to his success?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Like, what are those key coaching principles? What's his style? What makes him tick?
Let's try to figure that out.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Okay, so looking through all these sources, there are a few things that really stand out to me.
Okay.
First of all, the guy is he's driven. Like, you can just feel it. He has this insatiable desire to win.
Yeah.
And he's a workaholic, apparently. He spends hours and hours thinking about every little detail, trying to find any advantage he can.
Yeah, that meticulous preparation, it definitely comes through in all the sources.
It's like he wants to be ready for anything, any question his players might have, any situation that might come up during a game.
Yeah, and we talked about that fear, right?
Yeah, the fear of not knowing the answer to a player's question.
Yeah, and it seems like that fear, it's been a driving force for him his whole career.
Like he never wants to be caught off guard.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about, being prepared with all the answers.
No.
He also really values open communication with his players.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just him dictating everything.
No. He wants to hear from them. He wants their input.
Okay.
Now, obviously, he's the coach. He makes the final decisions.
Right.
But he wants their perspective. He wants to know what they're thinking.
That's actually really cool. You don't always see that with coaches who have been so successful.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising in a way, right?
Yeah.
You might expect him to be more, autocratic.
Yeah, like my way or the highway kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's this respect for his players, this understanding that they have valuable insights too.
Yeah, I like that. So he's demanding, but he also listens.
Yeah. And he pushes them hard.
I mean, he expects the best from them, right?
Yeah, he actually often says that he treats them as the best players in the world.
Wow, high praise.
But that doesn't mean he lets them get complacent.
No, of course not.
He's always pushing them to improve.
To be even better.
Yeah, and he's known for being pretty intense during games.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. He can get pretty fired up.
Yeah, but the players, they seem to understand that it's not personal.
Yeah, it's just his passion, his desire to win.
Exactly. He wants them to succeed. He wants the team to succeed.
And the players know that playing for him can really help their careers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The KOS magazine article, they talk about how players know that if they play for him, they're going to improve, they're going to have a chance to win titles, and they're going to increase their market value.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to play for a coach like that?
Right, and he's also really good at helping players who are struggling.
Okay, so if you're injured or you're in a slump, he's the guy you want in your corner.
Yeah, he knows how to get the best out of them.
That's a valuable skill for a coach.
Yeah, and when it comes to pressure, he doesn't accept it as an excuse.
Really?
Yeah, he actually believes that the biggest pressure is on him, the coach.
That's a true leader right there.
Yeah, taking responsibility.
Yeah, not passing the buck.
Now, in terms of his actual approach to the game, tactically.
Wait, what kind of basketball does he like to play?
He's actually really adaptable.
Okay, so he can adjust his style depending on the players he has?
Yeah, exactly. But there's some consistent themes.
Okay, like what?
He really values team play, unselfish play.
Okay, so no ball hogs on his teams.
Yeah, he doesn't like that at all.
Team first?
Team first, yeah.
Makes sense.
And he's really good at reading the game, making adjustments.
Yeah, he seems to have a knack for that.
And he also speaks a lot of languages.
Oh, wow. That's got to be helpful in European basketball.
Yeah, definitely an advantage.
So he's adaptable, he values team play, he's a master tactician.
Yeah, and he knows how to get the best out of his players.
But he's also been lucky enough to coach some amazing players throughout his career, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the list of names is incredible.
Yeah, like who are we talking about here?
Well, guys like Dejan Bodiroga, Dimitris Diamantidis, Vasilis Spanoulis, just to name a few.
Wow, those are some legendary names in European basketball.
Yeah, he's always had superstars on his teams.
And that definitely makes a coach's job easier.
It helps. It helps. And speaking of names, he's often called Zoc.
Zoc? Yeah, I've heard that. What's the story behind that nickname?
So it actually comes from his childhood.
Really?
Yeah, back when he was just a kid in Nijak.
Okay.
He was playing these shooting games with his friends. And he was so good. He would split the net.
Split the net.
Yeah, which in Serbian is sipak.
Sipak, okay.
So Željko Obradović, sipak became Zoc.
Oh, that's kind of cute, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty down-to-earth origin for a coaching legend.
Definitely.
And, he's also benefited from learning from some of the best coaches in history.
Yeah, like who?
Well, the KOS magazine article mentions Alexander Nikolic, Duško Vujović, Dusan Ivković.
Those are some big names in coaching.
Yeah, real legends.
So he's got the experience of playing at a high level. He's got the tactical mind. He's a great motivator. And he's learned from the best.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive combination.
No wonder he's been so successful.
And he's also known for being very honest and direct with his players.
So no sugarcoating.
No, he tells them what he thinks.
Okay.
But he also values those relationships. He stays friends with a lot of his former players and colleagues.
Yeah, that speaks to his character.
Yeah, it's not just about winning for him. It's about the people.
Now, I'm curious about his pregame speeches. How does he get his teams fired up before a big game?
Well, the YouTube transcripts, they actually give us some insight into that.
Oh, cool. What do they say?
So he talks a lot about the fans, reminding the players that they have these people who are coming to watch them, who are supporting them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he emphasizes that they need to give their all to fight for every possession.
Leave it all on the court.
Exactly. He wants them to be aggressive, to work hard, no matter what the score is.
So it's about effort, about intensity.
Yeah, that's a big part of his philosophy.
And it clearly works.
Yeah, I mean, look at the results.
Exactly. The Fenerbahçe fan forum, they talk about how the team's win percentage went way up after he arrived.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic.
Before him, it was around 50%, and then with him, it jumped to almost 80%.
Yeah, and that was in his first 3 seasons.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, his intensity, his demands, they clearly make a difference.
They get results.
Yeah. And he's also really good at understanding his players.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to get the best out of each individual.
So he's not just trying to fit everyone into the same mold.
No, he adapts his approach to each player.
That's smart.
And he was a great player himself.
Right.
So he understands the game from both sides.
That's got to be valuable.
Yeah, and it allows him to react quickly, to make adjustments during the game.
So he's like a chess master, constantly thinking a few moves ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also just very genuine, very authentic.
Yeah, you can tell he's not putting on an act.
Yeah, he's just himself. And that honesty, it seems to resonate with his players.
They trust him.
Yeah, they respect him.
And that respect, it's earned, not given.
Absolutely. So yeah, all of these things, they've led to this incredible career, this mountain of accolades.
Yeah, let's run through those accolades one more time just to really appreciate the scope of his achievements.
All right, so 9 EuroLeague championships.
9.
With 5 different clubs. Partizan, Juventud, Real Madrid, Panathinaikos, Fenerbahçe.
A record that will probably never be broken.
2 FIBA Saporta Cup titles with Real Madrid and Benetton.
Okay.
A record 17 EuroLeague Final Four appearances.
17? That's insane.
3-time EuroLeague Coach of the Year.
Wow.
2-time FIBA European Coach of the Year.
Okay.
And countless domestic league and cup titles in Serbia, Greece, Italy, and Turkey.
He's won it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's also a 3-time winner of the Alexander Gamelski Trophy, which is given to the EuroLeague's best coach.
Yeah, and he was named one of the 50 greatest EuroLeague contributors.
I mean, what else can you say? The man's a legend.
Yeah, there's really no other word for it.
So I guess the big question now is, after all this, what do you think is the single most important thing that defines his legacy?
That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to choose just one thing.
Yeah, he's got so many accomplishments.
But I think for me, it's his ability to adapt, to win with different teams in different countries, in different eras of basketball.
Mental point.
He's not a one-trick pony,
Yeah, he's not just a system coach. He's not just a player's coach.
Right. He's able to find what works to get the best out of his players no matter where he is.
It's like he has this innate understanding of the game, of how to win. Host,